Hi, my name is Randy Carter. I'm the General Superintendent of the Pentecostal Free Will Baptist Church. And as we come to the end of Pastor Appreciation Month, I just want to take a moment on behalf of our staff here at the Resource Center and tell you, our pastors and our ministers out there, how much we love and appreciate you. I was a pastor for 25 years, and for most of those years, I felt very appreciated by the people who I served. There were times at Pastor Appreciation Month when someone might hand me a card or a gift card or something like that. A little something to just show me how much they loved and appreciated me. In fact, right here in my office, on the credenza behind me, I have a small coffee mug. There's a story behind that mug. It was given to me at a time when I really needed to know that I was appreciated, and the person who gave it to me had no idea what I was going through. But here, some 15 years later, it still sits on my desk. It meant that much to me. There's also a small handkerchief on that credenza behind me. There's a story behind that handkerchief of where a group of people got together and anointed it with oil and prayed over it, and then sent one of their group to come to my office and to lay hands on me and pray for me that I would be encouraged at a time I needed to be encouraged. Little things like that along the way have meant so much to me. We hope and pray that during this month of Pastor Appreciation, you have felt appreciated by those whom you serve. We want you to know that we appreciate you as well. When I was a pastor, I'll never forget one Sunday, there was a man in my church. He was a successful businessman. He was a very wealthy man. He met me at the door and he said, "Pastor, could we go to lunch one day this week?" And of course, I said we could. And I'll never forget that day at lunch. Throughout the entire meal, I was wondering, what is this about? What does he want to tell me? What does he want to talk about? Near the end of the meal, he leaned forward and he looked me in the eye and he said, "Pastor, the reason I wanted to meet with you today is I just wanted to ask a favor of you." And I said, "Of course, anything I can do, I will." He said, "I'd like for you every now and then to sit me down, look me in the eye, and assure me that I'm not crazy." I was taken back. That seemed like a strange request. I said, "Well, what do you mean? Why do you need me to do that?" He said, "Because I'm surrounded by people every day who tell me I must be crazy." He was a very generous man, and he loved to give not only to our church, but to other causes, worthy causes. He also loved to serve and to volunteer. And he said to me that day, he said, "Pastor," he said, "sometimes when I'm going here and there and serving in the church and volunteering, sometimes my wife looks at me and says, 'You must be crazy.'" At tax time, when I sit down with my accountant and he looks at my charitable giving to the church and to other worthy causes, sometimes he'll lean back in his chair and he'll say, "Are you crazy?" One time I had been on a long mission trip, money out of my own pocket, and I had served on a foreign field. And when I got back, I was at the club with some of my golf buddies, and I was telling them about my trip, and they just kind of looked at each other and then looked at me and said, "You're crazy." "So Pastor," he said, "I need you every now and then just to look me in the eye and remind me I'm not crazy." I thought about that this week, and it occurred to me that maybe some of you who are in the trenches, so to speak, some of you who are on the field serving God, maybe every now and then people tell you you must be crazy. Maybe sometimes in the still of the night you feel like you must be crazy to do all that you're doing. I just wanted to tell you here at the end of this Pastor Appreciation Month, you are not crazy. You are not crazy for accepting the call of God into the ministry. You are not crazy for giving your one and only life to serve His kingdom agenda instead of your own agendas. You're not crazy for getting up early, staying up late. You're not crazy for standing by hospital bedsides and gravesides and all of the other things that you do in the course of your ministry. You are not crazy. The Apostle Paul one time wrote to a group of weary and worn laborers in a church, and it was in a city called Corinth, and it's recorded in 1 Corinthians 15:58. And here's what he said to them, and I'd like to speak these same words over you to encourage you in this month of Pastor Appreciation. He said to them, "Be steadfast, immovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord, knowing this, that in the Lord your labor is not in vain." Dear brother or sister, dear servant of God, always continue in the work of the Lord, steadfast, immovable, knowing that in the Lord your labor is not in vain. And I want you to know that we here at the Resource Center love you, we appreciate you,